Hi, this is Candace Devine. I'm about to plug myself arrogantly. I'm a Grammy-nominated songwriter. I'm also a vocalist. I've sung with everybody. You wish you knew me.
So welcome to episode 14 with the rarely showered Candace.
15.
Shit, man.
But also rarely showered. So you got that part right.
By the way, correcting one of the hosts, very, very poor podcast.
So we're ending this right now?
Yeah. We're done here.
Episode 15 is now over.
Yep, pack it up.
It was short, sweet, to the point. Candace is rude, she's also dirty, and we're out.
We're done here.
That's exciting. Well, welcome to Prescott.
Thank you.
Like biscuit.
Yeah.
Prescott.
First podcast from the road.
Pre-Scott.
Yeah.
Prescott.
Did we do one before, or is this our first
This
legit?
is our first.
That's right. We did bumpers on the last tour for one podcast, but we shot the podcast.
Yeah.
So this is our first road podcast.
I feel so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Roadcast.
We're in the
Broadcast.
home of the Sheridans.
It's a true story.
DJ, Candace, Bodie.
Don Juan.
Don Juan over here.
I am here.
Don Juan, Don Jose. It changes daily.
Yeah.
Lulu, Ziggy, and Banjo.
Oh yeah. Lulu, Ziggy, and Banjo over here.
Oh,
That's
the
We
three
hear the
amigos.
pitter-patter.
Little turd buckets. They're very cute.
And Candace.
And me!
Better known
Hooray.
as Candace Devine.
True. Pre-marriage. And now it's existing along with the Sheridan.
Yeah.
Is that still the performing name?
I still perform as Candace Devine, yeah.
Okay.
Mainly just because that's if I suddenly became Candace Sheridan or Candace Devine Sheridan, people would have a hard time finding me because they'd be like, who's this person?
I feel like it'd be a that thing you do situation with the like, sorry guys, she's taken, and all of a sudden, I don't know, the manager would be all upset. Tom Hanks would be all
That
pissed off
kind
at
of
you.
makes me just
Can you
want to
pretend
start...
you're
yeah.
single, Candace?
Exactly. That kind of just makes me want to change it all the way around just for that. Yeah. No, yeah, so I'm still found amongst the medias of the socials as Candace Devine.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been here in Prescott for how long?
A year and a half, because I had a
I
baby.
had a little tiny little wee baby human.
And
A
now
human
he's-
puppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's
He
over
is.
there.
Human
He is.
pup.
And he fits right in with the rest of the herd. He just, I think he thinks he's...
Bodie, say fuck real quick.
He goes, I'm eating my bubba. He's a daddy having a bottle. But otherwise he'd probably go, fuck, right at that moment. We'd all go, oh my
Get
God.
his first word
Yeah.
on the podcast.
That'd be amazing,
Oh,
actually.
man.
So what are you guys doing in Prescott?
We're on tour, but this isn't about us.
It is, though, because you're on the road on tour having a podcast
It's
with
true.
me.
It's our
It's
first.
true.
I mean, it's really cool to do it on the road, and it's cool to be able to be staying with you. And we weren't planning on having you on the podcast. I mean, we wanted you on the podcast, but it wasn't like, let's stay with her.
We had no intention of doing this with her, but since
Right.
we're sleeping in bedrooms in her house, I guess we have to ask her stuff.
It happily happened together. It was like,
Sleeping
yeah,
with people always complicates things.
I know.
Right? Doesn't
You
it?
have to have them on your podcast.
Yeah, and then you're like, sure, we'll promote the podcast. No, it's cool because, I mean, we had a list of people we wanted when we started the podcast, and you were on the list. And then we were here on the last tour, and we didn't do a podcast from the road because it was
It's true. It was much
still
shorter.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
It
short
was a
tour.
quick in and out.
And now it was like, we're there for 3 days. We're here in Prescott for 3 days. We might as well, like, make some time and, have you on the podcast.
Yeah,
'cause
see if she
you've
has
got stories.
anything remotely amusing to say. Because
come
I'm pretty
on.
sure you found out that I don't.
That is
I
So
did
not
introduce
true.
you to 5 oils, though.
Yes.
Five. Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
did. Oh
It's-
man.
Do we know what it is? It's
Dude.
wintergreen oil, eucalyptus oil, another fucking oil, another fucking oil, and another fucking oil.
Yeah. So one of
Five
our
fucking oils.
one of
Yeah.
our 3 listeners
fucking
is
oils, too.
is my mom, and Mom, you need to contact Candace. You guys are going to be best friends.
Oh my gosh, we're the same person.
You're the
Yes.
same person. You guys are
Basically.
you both jump over horses or whatever you guys do.
We sit on horses and jump over fences.
Is that what it is?
I thought it was. Oh.
You can ask my
That's so
husband.
much
I
cooler.
only get 2 inches off the ground if I'm jumping. It's pretty pathetic, actually. I have no bounce whatsoever. Just hit that ground hard and never. I mean, he's got hops. I don't have hops, so I have to sit on an animal with hops.
All I heard was husband and 2 inches. I was like,
You're like, I leave her alone with them for 2 minutes, and she's telling lies.
Once I'm done editing this podcast together, it's going to say exactly what you thought it said. Okay, so actually on the topic of what our podcast is actually about, a
Yeah.
little bit. musicianship, performing, all that kind of shit. I want to ask you about some things that we have no experience with, but you've kind of been on the like more the bigger venue side. What's a green room like?
Well, I've seen varied green rooms. I think one of my favorite, when I was in my former band, we opened for the Four Tops. What? And we were at the, oh God, what theater is it? It was a big theater out in Thousand Oaks. But it was like 3 stories, so the green rooms were down like a story or two. And the whole building had intercom system. So you'd be getting ready with all your lights and all your stuff completely in your own quiet area with the shower, and we'd turn on the shower and let the whole room fill with steam and warm up. And then we'd hear 5 minutes to stage time. And I was like,
that's crazy.
This is amazing.
That's so cool.
And then you're like, okay, and you're like 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I have 2 more minutes to touch up and whatever, and then take me about 3 minutes to walk up there. And then, boom, voila, stage. So that was pretty neat. I enjoyed that green room. That felt like a legitimate green room experience. Mm-hmm. When we opened for Boys to Men in San Diego, we were in trailers far, far away from the venue. Uh-huh. So, like, we came out to see them perform and then had to go back to the trailer and then go back to the stage, and then it wasn't ready, and then go back to the trailer and then go back. And then I started hitching a ride on the golf cart because I'm like, it's not birds. It's far away.
Especially if you got heels on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, I'm taking a golf cart. But yeah, green rooms are pretty exciting things.
That's awesome.
They're nice. It's privacy. It's a moment of like clarity before you go out and try to put your best foot forward,
That's cool.
But I've played more places without a green room than I've played places with a green room.
Okay.
When I opened for Survivor, I don't know if anybody knows who they are anymore. They sing "Eye of the Tiger."
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
I opened for them in front of like 40,000 people at an amphitheater out in Woodland Hills area, whatever it was, and that was pretty funny because their 2 green rooms were kind of side by side, and they like. Even now, as old dudes, like kind of raged before, and so they're like, and they watched me sound check. He's like, "You're fucking pretty good," and I'm like, "Hey, thanks, man," And then their doors were open, and they were like raging, popping beers, doing all this stuff, and I'm like, me, like trying to be all, because this is like in front of a lot of people, and they were rock and roll, which is pretty funny. But
I don't know why I just had an image in my head of them being like, okay, Survivor guitar player to the stage in 1 minute, and then he goes to the stage and just chicka for like 20 minutes, and then make all the rest of the video.
That's awesome.
What a weird,
maybe not far off.
What a weird mix. Like I get David.
No, it made no
Devine.
sense.
David and Devine opening for Boys to Men makes sense.
Yeah.
Musically,
But Candace Devine, it wasn't David, it was just Candace Devine opening for Survivor.
That's so
And
strange.
before I was with David and Devine, I opened for a couple, I used to be put on the bills with, like, at that time, before Dave and I were even a band, but at that time, I think so many people didn't know what to do with me. It was right on the brink of, we talked about this the other day, it was right before Amy Winehouse, Joss Stone, Adele, like all this kind of soulful music, and so I would be hitting venues all over, and they were like, I'm on fire every time you get too close to me. Can't be near you without feeling your touch. Don't keep talking when you know you should be kissing me. You got me where you want me, baby. No more anticipating. I wanna love you, let me show you how much. Don't save your love, give it to me. Don't save your love. Don't save your love. Don't save your love. Give it to me. Come on. So I remember playing like with Tear Pain and Guar. And,
Guar?
And that was when MySpace first broke, and I remember the guitar player, bassist of Korn, like wrote me on MySpace, and he was like, "Dude, you got some pipes." And I'm like, I don't think it's a fit, but sure, I'll open for Korn. Like it never happened, but it was just. I wish it had. That would have been
Yeah,
amazing.
me too.
I think the rest of the band probably went, "What the fuck are you thinking? Like, she is not opening for us." But you know what I mean. So I had a lot of weird a lot of weird opening spots until I got on an agency and then got paired with people that it made sense. So yeah, I've run the gamut of lots of interesting.
That's actually that's interesting to hear, because I mean, when you end up on like a weird, like a small venue, and there's like just some random thrown together, it's funny to see that happens at the higher levels too.
Well, one standout show I remember, I think it might have been a CD release or an EP release or something. I was playing the Whiskey, and my sound man was named Jetlag, which was a great first impression. And I'm pretty sure the band before me, I was the headliner that night, and I think the band before me was a metal band. So that is also a weird pairing when you're the headliner and the openers are bringing all these like metal heads.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure whatever the band was that was before me played, they might have been something like a Tear Pain or like, Blood Drops or, whatever they were.
Raging Spectre.
Scorpion Hand Job.
Yeah, exactly. We should play the game of Name Your Metal Band. This would be amazing.
If I say
Bodie's into it.
Bodie likes that name.
If I say Love Fist, do we have to pay royalties to Rockstar? No. Okay. Love Fist.
Yeah. But so Jetlag, I saw out of the corner of I actually started my set off stage and I did the opening song from the balcony and I walked down onto stage. So the band started kind of like your the band started and I started singing. I was like, where is she? And I was like, drama, this is amazing. And I walked down the stairs and I get onto the stage and out of the corner of my eye, because the sound booth was upstairs, I see Jetlag light a huge bowl in a bong and he's all... He like ran all the levels up at the same time and left. So everything was just on loud.
Oh my God.
And I'm a loud singer, so feedback. So I'm sitting there watching Jetlag get fucked up and peace out. And I think my dad or somebody in the back of the venue like went to the bar and was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "I'm an old man and it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Like my ears don't even hear it that clearly, and it sounds bad." And they managed to find Jetlag out back, hanging out with blood drops,
Scorpion hand job.
Scorpion hand job, yeah. And and he came back in and promptly was like, "Oh, she's not a metal act." And I was like,
my bad.
"Where were you for sound check?" I mean, that just tells me you weren't even the person doing sound check. So that's amazing. So that was a great experience. But that was another metal pairing with me, and it was pretty amazing.
Also fun to know that the proper sound for a metal band is just put all channels on 10.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of those bands bring a lot of their own. They're not using anything house, so they just put things up and they let them ride their, monitors and things. Not the monitors, but their amps and stuff on stage. Because they all solo and go. So I think he just kind of went, "She's fine." And that was a weird show because I had that show. I think I had 3 backup singers, 3 horn players, 2 guitars, a piano. I mean, I had like a 12-piece band, and I'm like, you can't just put it all up. No. It's not like you can't do that.
Yeah.
He didn't care. The horn should have been the first indicator that I was not a metal band.
Yeah.
Well,
doesn't Gwar have horns?
Maybe.
I think they do. Come on, you don't act like you don't know.
I don't actually know.
Isn't Gwar like ingredient number 36 in like most households?
Yeah. No, I think it's a country in South America.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Wait, guar's not in gum, isn't it? There is a guar ingredient in gum, though.
Yeah, it's like
guarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
wait, wasn't he like the runner-up to first season American Idol or something? Yeah. Justin Guarini.
Justin Guarini.
I'm so sorry, I know that. I'm so sorry.
But he's the sweet one. He's the Dr. Pepper guy.
What?
Yes, he's little sweet Rodney on a horse. He's the Diet Dr. Pepper dude.
Yeah.
And I love
we're pulling for that.
It's amazing. Justin Guarini, when you're done, can you give us a call?
Yeah. Or
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I opened for Taylor Hicks once, who was an American Idol.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And that was interesting because that was actually well paired. Except he, in his contract after researching me, would not allow me to have my full band.
Why?
Because my band could not be bigger or
better
than his band. I don't want to say better because he had great musicians, but yeah, and he was doing Grease at the time at the Pantages or something, which when I think about that, I'm like, why was he in Grease? Maybe it was a different show. I feel like Taylor Hicks would not be in Grease. Am I making that up? Anyway, he was late and he didn't go on for like, I think an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that.
Really?
So everybody, and I'm like, you couldn't let me have my whole band so that everyone could sit around and wait for you for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty sad.
What's
I'm
kind of
talking
cool
shit.
though?
I shouldn't talk shit.
No, that's
Sorry.
okay. I'm going to talk more shit.
The 7 people
He was
that
great
listen to our
though.
podcast are
He was
gonna be
great
like,
though.
"What?"
Just he
Yeah.
went on at like 11:45.
Right.
Interesting fact though. We're going to have to put a picture on the site. Our microphone kind of looks like Taylor Hicks.
A little bit.
Isn't that him?
Yeah, it's just a
the guy,
little.
right?
He's a little. Maybe it wasn't.
Oh, well,
what
we'll comb
show
it.
was he
We'll
in?
comb it a little bit.
Bye Bye Birdie. I don't even know. He was in
Is that
some
right?
show.
I don't
Totally
know
looks like
who
Taylor
that
Hicks,
is.
yeah. That's-
I'm
what
sorry.
his
It's
looks
okay.
like.
He's one of the American Idol from
Okay.
years yesteryear.
From that
But he was
machine.
all like that color hair.
But he had. That was the
Gray
big
and
thing.
black.
He was like 29, but he looked like he was much older. 'cause he
Oh, I
pretty much
know.
really gray.
I know who you're talking. Yeah, I'm actually.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, he's this
Yeah.
guy right there.
Okay.
And I think he's still gigging. I mean, I think he's still killing it. He has a great voice actually and a great band.
So I think one of the things that we've been talking about since we've been here the last couple days, but I think would be cool to do on the podcast here is talk about what your dreams are here in Prescott, because you have this long.
You're gonna
musical
help
career.
me make my husband more gray haired. She's like, let's talk about your dreams that involve your husband working really hard, so that we can afford more of those dreams with both of you working. Yes. I really, this town is growing exponentially year by year, month by month. And if you need a great realtor, DJ Sheridan.
Boom.
Boom. But I would love to see a legitimate music venue here, and I would love to be the founding body of that. There's lots of music in Prescott. There's lots of restaurants that have music. There's lots of places that have music off in the corner, live music. There's a big, beautiful theater that I'm going to be headlining June 3rd. And, but it's a 500-seat theater. There's no casual like, hey, we're in college. It's our first date.
Right.
Maybe there's not a movie I want to take her to see, but we still need something to talk about and something to do and something to enjoy. And why don't we go check out a cool act and go see a good band? Or if I'm the kid in high school and it's, Saturday night and I do have a favorite local band and they have nowhere to play but my friends' garages, I would love to create a place where artistry and budding artists could evolve and grow and showcase their music here. And because we're, in my opinion, beautifully located on a cross-country map, like we're not far from the 40, but we're also not that far from the 10.
Right.
For traveling musicians like yourselves that are coming through from either side, we're, no more than an hour and a half off either of those freeways, and it would be such a great stopping point to expand your base and try out new stuff. If you've never met anybody before, you play your hits, your things that crowds like, but then you're also like, we've been writing on the road. We want to practice and get some mileage on these new songs before we record.
Right.
I would love to be the beginning of that here.
Yeah.
And I'd love to create a nice little landmark. Nashville's got Bluebird Cafe, LA's got Hotel Cafe, New York's got Rockwood Music Hall. These little spots that are just landing pads for up-and-coming emerging artists and creative presence in the music industry who are doing the indie thing. And I'd love to create a nice little showcase spot here. So that's my dream, hubby. Sell a few more houses.
Anyone want to move to Prescott?
Yeah. And Prescott's beautiful. Well, you guys see it. I mean, it's a beautiful
Prescott
place.
is such a little Arizona oasis.
Gem,
It is.
yeah.
It's amazing.
It's just a little crown jewel,
It really is.
So I would love to let it have a little reputation of having this one legendary, spot.
Yeah, I think for personally speaking, when we plan a tour, Bodhi,
My
you
son
said
is
it.
also a singer.
Nailed it. Oh, he's climbing on Josh's guitar right now. For me, when we plan a tour, Arizona's always a hit or miss, 'cause
Right.
Phoenix and Scottsdale, there's some great places to play, especially in Scottsdale. There's great musicians and stuff, but it's either nobody is answering back, or the couple places that do, it just never works out timing wise, and it doesn't feel like a destination. It's just like we're going to Phoenix because we need to get to New Mexico.
To the next place,
Or we're
right.
going to Phoenix because we are coming back to California, and so it'd be nice.
It would be nice to have a stop off here.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, we have an interesting demographic, in my opinion. We have colleges of a couple different. We have Yavapai College, which is a junior college, or
That's how you say that word.
Yavapai.
Yavapai?
Yep. I've been too embarrassed to ask.
You're like, yeah, vappy. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually been sick this whole week. I've just been embarrassed to say that word.
But so I will say it again for you so you can practice repeating it as you edit and hear the
Thank you.
Yavapai College is here, which is a great feeder school to U of A, ASU, and many other schools. It's a great junior college, but we have that foundation of young people. We have a lot of high schools in the general area and Tri-City area around us. And then we have a really large retirement population. Yeah. So you've got two demographics of like older people that are settled into their life and they go out and eat and do stuff all the time because they're retired and they're like, why not? And then you've got all these young people that are craving for some things to do. And I feel like music brings both of those things together. Yeah. And in a town like this where people stay around town, like this isn't a transient town where people leave a lot necessarily. Like people come here and kind of kick it here, and that gives it that small. Bodhi agrees. That gives it that small town feel because you do run into your neighbors and you do run into people and you do go hit the spots locally all the time. Right. Wouldn't it be nice if those could all come together in one central place? And so that's my goal. That's my 5-year, 2-year, 1-year plan.
5, 2, 1 year plan.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and putting my fingers into the water of trying to develop here.
Yeah,
that's really exciting. That'd be really cool.
I can totally see it.
Yeah,
my mind's
totally doable.
It totally, it seems like, and the idea of having a spot, we talk about this all the time, that there's not like cities that matter, right, or don't matter. There's like, it's venue by venue, right. If you go through a town and you're like, there's this killer little whatever. Well, as musicians, you always hear that. People are always like, have you played that venue? Right, right. And you're like, well, where is that? Oh, it's in the middle of whatever city. Right, right. Have you been to that venue? Yeah. Right. And oftentimes when we were booking, we always were booking based on venue and reputation of venue versus the city itself or the place it was.
And man, when there's a venue that has a reputation for booking only good music, that's so amazing for every artist that plays there.
Yeah. We played up in Portland at Mississippi Studios, I believe it's called, and it's a very well-known, and I have so many friends that played there, and when I was calling, I'm like, we're going to play a gig up in the Pacific Northwest, or like, go to this venue because it suits what you're doing. And it was just a little theater, and the night we played it was standing room only. They didn't bring the chairs out, and that's what I love about Portland. People come out for music because you're just hanging. Let's go catch a show before we go out and get some beers, or let's get a beer and see a show, and let's get dinner. And I had my friends up there, but the place felt, I mean, if my memory's serving me right, it felt packed and full because people were like, oh, there's this new chick in town playing a gig. Let's check her out. Yeah. And I would love to create that for more musicians here. And I think it also feeds the old-fashioned value of music versus I'm all for internet and independent music being streamed and put out there, but I feel like we are losing touch with the artistry of live performance. Because our biggest live performers that are succeeding on a monetary scale, it's such a production. Yeah. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love a good, I'm down to go see Britney any day, or Christina, or, whoever, Lady Gaga. Like, I love that production. That's amazing. But that doesn't necessarily feed my soul in the same way that seeing authentic live gut-felt music that isn't choreographed with 50 dancers and fireworks and and letting songs stand on their own too. Skies are blue, they may turn to gray. Ain't gonna let it bring me down today. Got a feeling coming over me, lifting me up where I wanna be, higher to the place where love will shine. Cross the bridge where the river is wide, leaving behind all the troubles I know. Feels like sweet music in my soul. what I mean?
Or it's funny too when you see an artist who, you know, that question is always like, you watch someone play and you're like, how would that person play to 11 people?
Right. And we were talking about that last night. Yeah.
A great example of a guy that I haven't gotten super into following yet, but every time I hear him, I remind myself to make a note, like, I need to buy this guy's records.
Yeah.
Every time I see Gary Clark Jr.
On
a big stage at a festival or something, I go, he would be playing exactly the same
way
to 20 people in a dive. And there's so much energy and authenticity there, and that, like, you can smell those guys when you watch a video.
Right.
Like, that's what you want. You want to feel
truth,
it.
In my opinion. In my opinion, and this is, again, not a put down to major artists, because there's a place for all of us, and I think that's amazing. But I have been fortunate enough to play for 40,000 people, and I've also played the bar where 3 people showed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I gotta tell you, it is way harder to play the bar where 3 people showed up and give it the same confidence and gusto and passion as if you're on the stage for 40,000 people.
Right.
And your job, in my opinion, as a performer, is to show up at all those places with the same passion and gusto and share your music from that place.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going, oh my God, only 3 people are here. You know, it's much harder. I would love to see Rihanna, Katy Perry, any of those guys
play to a bar,
play lizards down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been there. You know, I'm like, that'd be a little tough crowd.
So to change gears, you have, you've already had like a long musical career. Playing
I'm a little long in the tooth, is that what you're saying?
A few different.
Getting a little long in the tooth, guys.
Already got 4 kids.
Yeah. Only
They're
one.
puppies.
My vagina thanks me for that right now.
Oh, one vaginal kid.
Oh, yes.
One vaginal
yes.
kid,
3 dogs, yes. Although there's procedures for that, I hear.
And a horse, but no big deal.
A
Whatever.
horse, and hopefully a horse with a baby on the way.
Yes.
Right.
Beauty will be pregnant soon.
Next month, hopefully in like 2 weeks. Because, breeding horses is a part of every podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
We talk about it in every single podcast.
Obviously.
But throughout your whole career already, and then taking a break, moving to Prescott, having a baby, kind of starting a life here, and now you're almost like on the precipice of relaunching,
reinventing,
and
reconsidering.
How exciting that is, and what that looks like and feels like for you. I'm interested to know.
Yeah, I think it's exciting because it's a rediscovery in action. I mean, it's real time, right? It's one of those things where it's like, I've done so many different, I don't want to say different versions of myself, but I've done so many different incarnations of beginnings. Like and I mean from a business standpoint, it looks like I'm going to be on this label, and either that happened or it didn't work out, or I was in this production contract and it either went really well or it ended really badly. And anytime you get from one of those negotiations to another, it is a fresh start on some level, because you're either dusting yourself off because it didn't go the way you thought it would, or you're dusting yourself off to get super cleaned up for the next step because you got that far and you put that work in, and now you're going, okay, time to take it to the next level. So either way, it's so many beginnings.
Yeah.
And my mom, and it's such a cliche, but my mom has said to me so many times, enjoy the journey. Not the destination, enjoy the journey, because even if you get to the destination you think you want, you get there and you go,
what's next?
What's next?
Right.
Like, I'm not just going to hang out here forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but as an artist, you're constantly growing. So you're like, whatever, even if it's not a forward movement, if it's to moving to the side, what is next? And so she's like, enjoy the journey, because the destination always changes.
Right.
Which is, I found to be so true looking back on my career.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm really kind of excited about the real time and reinvention. I recently, like I was joking when I was plugging myself, but I booked this gig. It's a 500-seat theater. I'm headlining, and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta find a band. Oh my God, I gotta promote. I gotta make flyers. All these things that were so clockwork to me that I haven't done in so long. And because now this is the first time in 5-6 years that I'm doing it as a solo act again. I had a great run in my band, and it was wonderful, and our lives just changed. And now it's time to not reinvent, but to, reset up that wheel and find out where it's going to drive you. Yeah. And figuring it all out on your own again when you've had people to lean on before, and now you're like, I did it before on my own, and then I did it with a lot of people, and now I'm doing it on my own. Like, I know I can, but it's like, okay. So yeah, I'm discovering it the same as you are. Like, I'm in in motion looking at myself. It's, the mirror in the mirror in the mirror. You're going, oh God. And then you're going, I can do this. Oh my God. No, you've done it before. It's like, you're looking at one face in the mirror going, you're no pro. You're a little long in the tooth. You've done it so many times. And then you look in the mirror going, oh my God, I'm petrified. What if it fails miserably? What if no one cares? What if no one likes my voice or my songs? What if I'm in this new town that I actually coincidentally never played when I was touring? Because guess what? There's no music venue here. Yet. So, then you go, will a town get behind me? Will I turn it into something that people would come to see again? Or are they going to go, oh, she's sweet? Right. I always feel like, don't Southern people always have those, like, backhanded...
Yeah.
They always say, like,
you're so
oh,
pretty.
Bless her heart. And you basically know that they mean, you dumb shit. You know what I mean? Bless her heart, she means well. And you're like, you're really saying she's an incompetent fool.
That's not Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of she's got a great personality.
Right, exactly. And that's another interesting thing here. I am a native of California, and California, like New York and even Nashville now, is a real, and San Diego, you guys have this too, it's a real melting pot of music. You can get, one night it's, Afro-Cuban, the next night it's blue-eyed soul, the next night it's hip-hop, the next night it's whatever,
right.
K-pop, it's all these different things. In this town, there's a deep love of country music. Fortunately, I like country music, but it's not one of my influences. I mean, I certainly, the closest ties to country music as an influence to me is Ray Charles, because Ray Charles was a soul singer who sang country music. In his mind, he's like, I want to tell stories, and that's country music. But that's about as close as I have been to singing country music. I have done my Patsy Clines here and there, and I have definitely done, Stand By Your Man and Crazy, and I've done, a couple of those things when I'm singing out and people are like, do you know any country? Sure I do. Crazy.
Sure your boots have been made for walking.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how I'm received here, but I feel like we have a diverse enough demographic to appreciate other stuff as well. So we'll see. It's in the works. It's just unfolding and before me.
Yeah. You said June 3rd.
3rd. At the Elks Theater.
500 cap venue?
Yes.
We're going to try to make it back.
Please come. I may drag you on stage with me. Help me out. Oh my God. Bail me out of this.
Nope. We'll be like,
they're all staring at me.
We don't know her.
All the blue hairs are snoring in the back.
We'll just be like, you're so pretty.
Bless your heart. Oh God, I'm failing on every angle. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping people come and they find it as an interesting change or just an addition to their musical tastes and go, hey, that was a nice shift and we're into it. So we'll see.
I think there's hope.
Huh?
I think there's hope for Prescott.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I'm. I have no problem with nepotism. My husband knows a lot of people, so we'll plant the audience with people who I know like me.
Yes.
Again, we were just in the town square.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it a cute downtown?
It's super cute, and there's definitely room for a Candace Devine, savior of Prescott music statue there.
Yes, there is.
Oh yes, I want a statue. That's in the 1-year goal too. Music venue next to a statue.
Right.
That never made my list there, Davey, but now it will. Now it will. People can decorate it every Christmas.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it.
Put her in a different caroling outfit. Yeah.
Yep.
Feather boa.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Snowy Divine.
Snowy Divine.
That's my old lady performance name.
Yep.
Snowy Divine.
When I have to lift up the skirt to show you my boobs, I'm gonna go by Snowy Divine.
I thought that was your Coke dealer name.
No, that would be amazing.
Can it be both?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Especially if I'm a 80-year-old Coke dealer.
Right.
That's even sexier.
Ooh, yeah.
Snowy Divine. Snip it off my boob. Let me hoist them up. Give me some cleavage.
Yep.
Here's my boob shelf.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. Drugs off an 80-year-old woman's chest. But yeah, so
that's the name of this podcast. It's either breeding with horses with Candace Devine,
or drugs off an 80-year-old woman's chest.
Yep.
I think I prefer the latter.
Wait, you prefer snorting drugs off of a ladder?
No, I prefer the latter.
Oh, breeding with ladders. Okay,
right, that makes sense.
I got
Obviously.
you. Yeah, we're all on the same.
That's my
Brody
son.
says it's time to be done.
He does.
Music in this episode provided by Candace Devine.
All I heard was husband and 2 inches. I was like...